Well done, Holly. Our next speaker is Allysa Gooden. Allysa will graduate in May with a degree in Human Services and Counseling. She plans to continue her education here and pursue a master's degree in Counseling and Human Development. For those of you who enjoyed the special music tonight, Allysa has been president of the Lindsey Wilson Singers for the past 2 years. Welcome, Allysa.
When I was first asked to speak to you all tonight, I was grateful that my outfit had been picked out for me because that's always the most difficult thing about these things for me. So thank you for lightening the load of stress on me this evening. I'm going to steal a word from Miss Susan Minton. For those of you who have ever been a part of a singer's home concert, Miss Minton does a wonderful presentation about the singers and calls us a family. But we are just a small division of the family that is Lindsey Wilson College. So before I tell you about my wonderful experience at Lindsey, I'd kind of like to tell you how God brought me to this place. I came to Somerset, Kentucky, which is my hometown, not Columbia, though I do live here, and I'm very grateful to live here. I came to Somerset by way of Missouri. I grew up the daughter and granddaughter of deacons in the Church of Christ, and it had been decided for me long before I was capable of making my own decisions that I would attend Freed-Hardeman University, because that's what a good Church of Christ girl did, and I jumped the tracks. But and as a middle school and high school student, that was all right with me. I was going to be a music education major and major in vocal performance and teach kids music, because that's how you work with kids, is to be a teacher. After coming to Somerset in the spring of my senior year, I received a full tuition scholarship to Somerset Community College, and my parents were ecstatic because SCC was 15 minutes from home. Freed-Hardeman was 6 hours from home. But let me let you in on a little secret that most high school seniors have in common, and that is they want to run away from home as quickly as they can. So as big of a blessing as it was to have a full tuition scholarship to the college in town, it was almost somewhat of a disappointment to know that I wasn't going to be leaving home anytime soon. But I just had to trust that God had an amazing plan for what was going to happen to me. In the summer before beginning my freshman year of college at SCC, I met a boy. And that boy attended a little-known Methodist college in Columbia, Kentucky. And so my interest in Lindsey Wilson was piqued for the first time. And now some of you are sitting out there going, great, she followed a boy here. So that's the end of the story. But it was also that summer and through my first semester of college that I began to realize that music education wasn't really what I was looking for. These German augmented sixth and half diminished minor seventh chords were boring, terribly boring. And I wanted to sing because I felt like that was my passion, and that was what God had created me to do, was to sing. So it was through my visits on campus to see this boy and by talking to my admissions counselor that I learned about this amazing group called the Lindsey Wilson Singers and the fantastic choral program that I had the opportunity to be a part of. And I began to kind of rethink and to pray about where I needed to be. And lo and behold, I ended up at Lindsey Wilson College, and God has blessed my time here more than words will ever be able to express to you. As a member of the Lindsey Wilson Singers, I've traveled to 13 states and seen historic sites and made memories and done an amazing number of things. They are my family. And I guess that's all I'm going to say about them. Also, in my first semester as a student, well, I guess it was my second semester here at Lindsey, I took lifespan development with Dr. Jody Crane, which I thought was going to be a lot of fun, and it was. But in my conversations with Dr. Crane, I learned about this modality called play therapy, and the fact that you can work with a child on a daily basis outside of the classroom setting. And I may seem naive, but that had never occurred to me. I thought if you wanted to work with kids, you had to be a teacher or a social worker, and social work was definitely not the way I wanted to go. So thanks to Dr. Crane, I got more interested in this human services program, and God has shown me over and over again that that's where I need to be, and that's what he needs me to do for him. Another blessing about being in the Lindsey Wilson Singers is that I'm a firstborn child and a huge control freak. And I've got to be the president of the Lindsey Wilson Singers for 2 years, which is an amazing blessing for me, and it's taught me leadership skills, and it's been a wonderful experience for me to be a part of this family. My time at Lindsey has allowed me to experience life in a dorm room and all of the nuances of having roommates and things like that. I've been with the singers and gone on tours and trips, and we've had bonfires, and I've made all of these memories. And I think the hardest part about leaving Lindsey will be the fact that I have to leave my family. My family has since moved to Salisbury, North Carolina, which we were blessed to go visit on tour this year and sing in their hometown, which I may have had a small amount to do with. But I'm leaving a place where I belong. I'm leaving a place that a group of people that I call family. Very few times will a student go to college and go to a place where their administration knows them by the first name, where their professors stop and pray with them when they're having a bad day, and where every professor I've ever had knows what I'm capable of and holds me accountable for it. And I think that's what makes the most of your education at Lindsey Wilson College. If you have not taken the opportunity to talk to the students in the room, please do it tonight, because they are full of stories like mine and better than mine about what God is doing in their lives, and they're just waiting to tell you about the awesome God we serve and what a blessed experience they've had at Lindsey. So in closing, if you're wondering about that boy, we got married in June of 2006, and he now works in the business office at the college. So by the continuing grace of God, I get to be a part of this family, as long as they will keep him on staff. I also have the privilege of joining the graduate program in the fall and serving as a graduate assistant in the chapel, and hopefully being able to share my story and bring more people in and make them feel like a member of this family. Thank you to each of you and what you do for Lindsey Wilson and what you bring, and I pray that you don't leave here tonight without feeling like a member of a family. Thank you.